You're getting off track with Justin and Josh.
Let's go. I know you're going to dig this.
And we're back. I said it this time, you didn't.
I wasn't even aware that we were going. Well, we're back heading into the weekend.
Yes.
Lots of exciting things happening this weekend. I've got a wedding to go to.
That's not exciting.
Yeah, weddings are like, I don't know. It's like I'm happy for the people that are getting married with weddings, but they're just like, they're over so fast. It's like so much work for something that's like, the reception is where all the time is spent. I don't know. I guess it's a joyous occasion.
Mine didn't take any time, any planning, and I still thought
you didn't invite nobody.
No, it was me and her and our parents and the preacher, and I still thought it was a waste of time.
He doesn't mean that, Beth. He loves you.
No, I mean, getting married wasn't a waste of time, but the actual wedding was.
Right, the ceremony. Me and my friend were talking about that the other night, and I was like, I don't know. Everybody's getting, it's like, you know, we're getting to our later 20s, almost the latest of our 20s that we can be, and it's just like now getting to the point where everybody's getting married. Right. Everybody. It's either babies or marriage, and it's like I can't even complain about babies too much on Facebook. Hell, we're in our late 20s. I mean, everybody's having babies.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's hard to kind of grasp, like, we've made it to that point where that's the norm.
Right, it really is, because for people like you and I that aren't just super anxious to just reproduce. It's weird because we're at that age now to where it's just a common thing. And it's like every time I go to complain, I think, well, if I was like 20, 21, I guess I could complain. But like, man, people are starting to have a lot of babies. But I mean, we are reaching our later 20s.
It's hard to realize that we're like getting close to 30.
You had to say the T word. That word's forbidden in my house. Even when I turned that word.
I don't think it's forbidden anymore. I used to think like, oh man, that's like, you know, younger I was like, man, that's pretty, you're getting old. Now I look at it, I'm like, darn, 30's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not a bad word. Say it with me. 30.
No.
Say it with me.
I just can't accept it because I'm just like a kid. My biggest problem with turning 30 is not the actual age. Honestly, because everyone that's like, you know, all the like early 20-somethings that I know, they're like, oh, you're so old. It's like, you'll be here before you know it. Like, I mean, people can tell you that all day, but like, it will be like that.
Well, like, you know, old people told us that when we were younger. Mm-hmm. And like, I thought, you're lying. Like, they're like, as you get older, the years are going to fly by faster and faster. And then I thought, yeah, you're ridiculous.
Get faster.
But it's true. It's like every year, it's like, the other day, I was like, man, it's like Christmas was like just the other day, and here we are almost at Christmas
again. I used to love Christmas. Now I hate them because they come around way too fast, and my wallet's never prepared.
Yeah. Santa Claus quit bringing me gifts, too, so that's why I don't like Christmas anymore.
Oh, man. Santa Claus still comes to see me, so.
Boo on you, Santa. But then again, I've changed addresses like 5 bajillion times.
See, he just gets lost, man. He just gets lost. It's not his fault.
I'll write him a letter this year and put it in big bold letters.
Right. Here is my address. Come visit me.
Don't F it up this year.
Don't piss him off. I bet Santa's got a bad side you don't want to see. But no, my biggest problem with turning 30 isn't the actual age. Because like I said, everyone will be there before you know it. It's the fact that you're expected to do certain things or not do certain things. I hate those lists. Hate those lists that are like, things 30-something should quit doing. And I mean, it's the stupidest stuff. It goes from like wearing rainbow flip-flops to wearing American Eagle, wearing funny T-shirts to going to rock concerts. It's like...
You know who writes those lists?
Like 19-year-olds.
Well, no, like 30-year-old losers.
Right.
Who have like no life, who have no friends, and who sits back and criticizes everyone else for having a good time.
That pisses me off. It's like, just because I'm 30 does not mean that I'm not getting in the mosh pit anymore. Now, don't mean that I'm going to stay in there as long as I used to.
Right.
But, I mean, I hate that. I hate the perception that once you reach a certain age... I mean, it's like, here's my philosophy on life and age, is that as long as you're grown up when you need to be, whether that be taking care of your job, taking care of your kids, taking care of yourself, as long as you can get that done and be a grown up when you need to be, you can be however old you want in your spare time.
Right.
For instance, there's this rock show that a lot of people around here know of called the Carolina Rebellion. Mm-hmm. And it was a picture, just like this, he looked like he was probably in his 40s to 50s, commented on the status, and somebody under commented, was like, ha, granddad that still goes to concerts, why don't you stay at home? If I see like a 50 or 60-year-old at a concert, I think that's badass. I'm like, man, I hope that I can still come to concerts when I'm that much older.
I mean, I don't understand why, as you get older, and I'm talking like not 30 older, but like as you get older, why you should stop enjoying life.
Right. Just stop doing the things you want to do. It's like if it comes naturally that you no longer want to do these things with your age, then that's fine. But don't tell me because you've aged to the point that you no longer like punk or rock concerts that I'm going to be too old to go to a rock show because, But
like this list, I'm telling you, though, if I wish there was some way we could research this and prove this, but I guarantee you, they're written by negative Nancys who sit at home and have no life and complain and bitch about everything.
Yeah.
I bet you we have a mutual friend that would write lists like that if he was a writer.
Hold on. Is it? Yes. Okay. Yes.
He would.
Yes, he absolutely would.
He would. When I read those lists, like before we even had this conversation, I've read those lists before and thought they came from somebody like him.
Yeah. I mean, it just annoys me. Like I said,
it wouldn't surprise me if he was ghostwriting them under someone else's name.
It's like, I don't know. It's like, for instance, okay, and you tell me your thoughts. It's like we're going to the beach. We went to the beach this past summer. I love going to the beach with my friends. It's awesome. We play beer pong, we play cornhole, we drink beer. It's not like we're partying hard like college kids necessarily, but
right.
we do party. We have fun. We don't raise hell per se, but I mean we have a good time. We also play like flip cup, things like that. I feel like once I hit 30, I'm too old to do that, even though I still want to. And that's the sad part about it, is that I feel like someone's going to be like, which, I mean, I really don't care what anybody thinks, and I'll still do it. But it annoys me that I'm sure someone will be like, how old are you? When you say I'm 30, they're going to be like, you're still playing flip cup and stuff? And it's like, well, I want to. I paid my bills. I paid for my vacation. I took my days off. I've done everything a grown-up needs to do. Why can't I play a little flip cup, a little beer pong on the side?
Society has influenced your thinking.
Get that image out of your head. I don't care if you are 40 or 50. If you want to play beer pong, I like longboard. Like, I saw a guy on YouTube that he like vlogs or whatever, and he was skateboarding and fell off and had to go to like the little medic center. And he said something that which the dude's cool. I mean, it's nothing against him, but he said something that like bugged me. He goes, I know that it's ridiculous. 30 years old and I'm falling off skateboards. I need to just grow up. Why? I am like right now I've been saying I was going to get one for a year, and like after my next paycheck, I'm going to get one. I've been a longboard because I want to take it to the Riverwalk Trail and ride it. It's like I don't want to go to the X Games or nothing, but I want a longboard. I've skateboarded when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I think. Well,
we talked about this the other day. Tony Hawk is like in his 40s. He still rides a skateboard
and rides one very well. I liked it. You see what he was riding with his daughter, and people criticized him, and he said, "You're more likely to walk down the street and fall than I am to fall off of a skateboard."
Right.
With my daughter. But no, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't mind the getting older part, because it's like I don't, and I guess it's because I'm nearing that age, but I don't see people in their 30s as old.
Me neither. Here's a good example that I got. Because I was like kind of you. Like I was like, ooh, when you hit 30, you gotta start like changing the way you do things, and like feel bad doing certain stuff because society's made you think that.
Right.
I'll tell you what made me kind of change my mind and attitude towards that. And I know like I'm partial to this person because I like them a lot. Dale Jr., he's going to turn 40 here in a few weeks.
Right.
And someone had brought it up in an interview asking him, you're about to turn 40. You still wear like Chuck Taylors. Like you still do, like he bought a Power Wheels and was pulling it behind a four-wheeler and riding it across his farm because he thought it'd be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, he does stupid stuff, and he's like, I don't feel 40, so why should I act 40?
Right, and it's like, who says 40 is old? You know what I mean?
Where did that come about? Like,
where did it come that 40 is the age in which you just basically sit down and wait to die?
Exactly.
Like we said earlier, if you start outgrowing things, then we're not talking to you about, that's understandable because I've outgrown things. One thing that makes me really sad, I'm going to nerd out here for a second because I know you do play some video games too, but one thing that makes me sad is watching all of my friends one by one drop off from playing Call of Duty online. But I don't necessarily know if that's a getting older and just outgrowing it, or if it's just that they've gotten tired of the same thing. Because the game's been out for 7 years? I think 4, which started the whole Call of Duty multiplayer phenomenon, made it what it is now, basically started I think around 2007. So it's been like 7 years of the same game.
I see what you're saying, and it could be the fact, like you said, the game's kind of getting old.
Right.
I think it's not that though.
What do you think?
Here's my like personal example. It's not that I don't like playing video games like as much as I did before. Cause I do. I love video games. It's just that, number one, I found other interests that I didn't have like when I was a teenager or a young adult.
Right.
That I like now. And it's like, well, number two, I have a way more responsibilities now, so I don't have as much time to devote.
Yeah.
So it's not saying that I don't. If I could, oh, buddy, I would play the shit out of some video games at my house.
And see, you're a good special case. Which, I mean, you're right. You are exactly right, and that does count for some of them. Like, I mean, for instance, we got these two guys that we used to play with, and I don't know if they listen to the podcast or not. I might actually send this to them, make them listen to it, or beg them to listen to it.
Force them at gunpoint, listen.
But they used to play Call of Duty with us. Well, one already had. He was in his one of them was in his younger 30s when he started, because you play online, you meet people from across the world.
Right.
One of these guys was in his early 30s, I think, when we started playing with him. So he was not much older than I am now when we were all like 21 and playing with him. And then the other one, I think he was in his later 30s or close to 40. But now the other one's got two girls that he started with. They were kids. One was like a baby, so put them to bed, play Call of Duty. Now they're both like, I don't know if they're teenagers, but they're both on up there like 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that range. And he's got those two, and it's like I don't see him on as much. And then the other guy I hadn't seen on in years, but he just had a baby. There are things and responsibilities that are keeping people away from it. But
I don't think it's just like you outgrow it. I just think that, like, not mentally wise, it's just you outgrow it in, like, life-wise.
Right. Like, and that's fine. The stuff that bothers me is when someone refuses to do something they want to do simply because I'm too old for that.
I met a guy the other day. I was talking to his daughter, and he's like 60. If I had to guess, I'd say about 65 to 70 years old. And we were talking about like what he likes to do. You know what he likes to do? Play Need for Speed on the PlayStation.
That is awesome.
He bought his grandson one, and I'd have it at his house to play when he comes over. He realized he liked playing it more than his grandson does. So he's having surgery. He was something on this week because he has like something on his hands where he can't extend his fingers all the way on both hands. Mm-hmm. So they're going to fix them both at the same time. So he can only use his thumbs for like the next 3 weeks. His hands are going to be bandaged up. And I said, and his name's Herman. I said, Herman, I'm going to take you to GameStop and buy you a steering wheel, man, so you can keep playing Need for Speed. He's like, now we're talking.
That is awesome. See, there you go. And there's a picture of an old guy I've got on a longboard going down the hill that says, don't take life too seriously. No one gets out alive. Yeah, I mean that's badass.
Yeah,
that's right. I like that.
His granddaughter was like, "Yeah, it's all like, every time you go there, he's playing Need for Speed." And I'm like, "That's awesome." I have noticed that my drinking and whatnot, and how frequently I can do it, and how hard I can do it, has kind of slowed down.
Oh, big time. And it's like with me. I mean, when it used to be like party, it's like on special occasions you can party and stuff, and it's like at the beach I can probably drink a few more beers than I do on average. But I mean, it's like perfect example is I had just 2 beers in my house last week. I had 2 beers in the refrigerator. I had every intention on drinking them both. My mind was set. Yes, I have nothing to do today. When I get off work, I'm going to go home, drink these 2 beers, play some guitar, and just relax. I only drank like half of one. I just didn't, you know what I mean? It's not, and I love beer. It's just that that day didn't feel like, whereas back in the day, that's alcohol abuse.
Yeah, I know.
You had half a beer you let sit, So, yeah, I mean, there are things that change with you that you outgrow, which is natural. But my whole purpose for for that whole thing is just that I hate it when someone doesn't do something they like because they feel like they're too old. You're never too old to follow your dreams, and that is true. Look at Taylor Hicks. Was that his name? The American Idol winner that was like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had to be like late 40s, 50s... At least. When he got signed, which, I mean, granted, he hadn't done nothing since, but...
There was a country artist a few years back named Buddy Jewell. Like, his first hit was when he was 47.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. How old was Jamie Johnson when he started? Speaking of country.
Oh, he's been around for a while.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
You just finally heard of him with Seen It in Color.
He released an album like 99, 2000-ish.
And, Eric Church was the same way, right? He was around a lot longer than people had thought before he got famous off of things like Springsteen and his big hits.
Yeah, he'd been around for like 6 or 7 years. But Jamie Johnson's been around for a while. He actually had a hit. I wasn't saying like a smash hit, but it made it like the top 10, top 15 on the charts. I remember hearing it on the radio and just never realized that was him.
That's crazy.
Because he kind of went away because his first album was very like, they conformed him to what they wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Like, he was a clean cut, like, cowboy hat, holding a guitar. Like, I actually have the album. I'll show it to you. Anyway, you wouldn't recognize him, but he's like that. And then when
he's super rough around the edges.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of like, F it, that's not me. I want to do what I want to do.
Right.
So the industry kind of kicked him away until he finally recycled back.
Well, I'm not much of a country fan, but he is one country artist that I do like.
Right.
I like Jamie Johnson a lot.
Too. Eric Church, yeah, he'd been around for a while. Like, I couldn't understand, because like when Chief came out and Springsteen was real big, he won New Artist of the Year, and I'm like, how can you win New Artist when you've had 3 albums before that? He's been out since 2006.
Yeah, he's been out for close to a decade.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you new? New in the sense that we just found out who you are. Look at me venturing into unfamiliar territory there.
I know.
Talking
Watch
about
out.
country music. Wow.
We better mark this day down.
A little bit of a stray from the hard rock I usually prefer. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, so anyone that's with me, if you're getting, for our younger listeners that are like in their early 20s, like, ha, listen to the old people with their quarter life crisis. You'll be here soon. For those of you that are with us that are close to 30, or you are over 30, just remember, do whatever the heck you want to do.
Thinking about this,
granted, it's legal.
Is this why people buy Harleys when they're in their 50s?
Well, you don't
kind
get
of
caught.
conform to like, I want to do something rebel.
Well, because it's like a midlife crisis. I mean, you're going out and doing something dangerous. It's like everyone has the perception that a motorcycle is just like a live on the edge, dangerous thing. So at 50, you feel like, oh, it's awesome. I want one. My friend got one, and I'm going to get one. At some point, it's just, you got to be able to pay for it.
Right. They don't give them away for free.
I will be getting a motorcycle at some point. I already know the exact one I want. So do whatever the hell you want to do. Granted,
that's right.
Granted, it's not going to hurt someone else. Okay, so moving on. What has happened in the world since we podcasted last? Tony Stewart was proven innocent.
Absolved of all charges.
Which I feel was fair.
Yes.
You and I have spent countless minutes, I wouldn't say hours, but countless minutes watching all the replays and the slow-mos. If you think that he did that on purpose, then obviously you're seeing what you want to see as opposed to what really happened. Like, everyone wants Tony Stewart to be the bad guy because he's got a temper.
Right.
He hit somebody. It's like, well, look at his track record. I have a terrible temper. I have not yet hit anybody.
Right.
I have not yet done. It's like the only difference between his temper. It's like I would love to ask someone that's like, well, look at his temper. Okay, you probably have a temper. The only difference between his temper and your temper is that there are cameras around to catch his outburst. There's no cameras around to catch your outburst. Now, with that being said, would you intentionally hit someone who you had that simple of an issue with? No, you wouldn't. So why in the world would you say, oh, he's got a temper? Anyone that says that that Tony Stewart hit him on purpose, that's your opinion, but obviously you didn't see what I saw.
Here's the example that I saw someone use, and I think it's a very good one. It would be the same example as if you were riding down Piney Forest Road here in Danville. I see you coming. I'm mad at you. I think I want to slap his side view mirror when he comes by. Like, I'm standing on the sidewalk. So as you come by, I lunge to slap your side view mirror on your car, but I fall in front of the car and you hit me.
Right.
Is it your fault?
Nope. It's your fault for swinging at me. If you have seen all of the video evidence that they've shown, all of it, because there is so much, and you've seen the analyzations, and you still believe Tony Stewart hit him on purpose. Like, I mean, if you hadn't watched all that and you're just basing it off of your knowledge of Tony Stewart, number one, you shouldn't make a decision before you research anything.
Right.
Number two, you can't think because someone has a temper that they would do that. Number three, you really should go watch the videos and stuff. But it's like, if you have watched the videos and all of that and you still want to say that Tony Stewart hit him, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. It doesn't take a genius to watch the videos and watch the boy throw his hands out to grab his car.
Right.
Lock his hands onto the wing and then, was it the wing? The spoiler on the back? Grab that and then get slung. And then go, that's Tony Stewart's fault. If you're one of these people that thinks that Tony Stewart hit him or ran over him, watch the videos. He didn't get hit. He got thrown.
Right. Let it go on record. I've never been I'm not a Tony Stewart fan. I don't dislike him, but I don't pull for him. I'm indifferent.
It's not like if this was Dale Jr. and you'd be like,
I'm indifferent.
Josh, they have video of Dale Jr. shooting the guy. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. I'm telling you, he didn't do it. It was a sniper from way behind him.
It was actually a BB gun he was giving the guy as a present.
Yeah.
And this sniper, it was one of them Al-Qaeda.
Got him. But I'm indifferent on Tony Stewart. I've met him before, and he was nice to me. But
right.
I've seen
He hit on the girl that we were.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't know if you say hit on, but he made a
off-color comment.
Yeah, there you go.
I've seen his whole side too. But so I'm very indifferent. But I will say, if you can watch, especially if you find the slow motion video and watch that and think that he hit him on purpose, like Justin said, either you're lying or there's something wrong with you.
Talking about like the Michael Brown case, I won't comment near as extensively on that as I will Tony Stewart because there's not video evidence for that.
Right.
I actually saw,
he said, she said with that.
Yeah. So you have opposing views, and it's like, I really don't know what I believe. I really am not going to say what happened. Tony Stewart's video, it was there. It was a video.
Right. And what really irks me about it is like the news agencies that are commenting on it like they were experts in the situation.
Oh, yeah.
I watch racing religiously. You can ask Beth. If there was some way that they had an only racing television station, I would probably have it.
You'd probably be working for them.
Yeah, I probably would. But I'm not saying I'm an expert on dirt racing, but I showed you the picture. Have you ever, for the ones who've never seen the inside of the car he was driving, your vision is extremely limited.
Right.
Extreme. There's a huge wing on the top and the side of your car. You can't see but very little. I honestly don't think if he even saw him
that he knew that it
was to the last second. To the point of that, the guy should have never been there to begin with.
Nope.
Because he should have known how limited the vision were in those cars.
Right.
Because he was just driving one.
Right. And the lesson in all of this, I guess there's been a lesson or a moral in both things we've talked about so far, is research something before you reach an assumption. Like me, I know we're all guilty of, like, we hear something and we automatically jump to something. But I try not to open my mouth, at least publicly, to people until I know what has happened. You know what I mean? Like, research it. If you have a strong enough opinion that you want to speak out, then at least have your research in front of you.
They took it to the grand jury, and everyone's like, they took it to the grand jury because they know he was like, something bad happened. No. If you look at the formalities of how laws are in New York, if there's a death involved, it's almost like they have to take it to the grand jury. Yeah. They just can't say, nah,
right.
We didn't find any evidence. He's not guilty.
Right.
But number two, it was to wipe so the town could wipe their hands clean up. So we've done our part.
Right.
We've turned it over to them. But the fact the grand jury only deliberated for like 30 minutes.
Right.
And said, yeah, he's not guilty.
I mean, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist. But I'm not a racing expert. I'm not a huge racing fan as you are and have not watched it my entire life. And this isn't something like, I wouldn't argue on changing NASCAR rules or something silly like that, something that I just don't know how it really functions in the But this is something that you need no racing knowledge to see. Here's the car. Here's the boy. The point in closing with that whole scenario, if you're going to speak out about something, make sure you research it first.
Exactly.
Because nothing sucks more than, and I mean, we all do it. Some of the most critical people on like Facebook that'll like snope something you post and be like, ha ha, that's not true. They've done it too. Everyone says and posts and says something that they, that is not been researched at all. Sometimes we jump to assumption, but do yourself and everyone around you a favor and just research.
I'm in total agreement with that.
And this is with everything, way more than Tony Stewart, because I see anybody listening on Facebook that is constantly posting your opinion. This could be you. I see tons of things that people will post, and then I'll Google it, research it, because I'll see it and immediately be like, oh, no, that's unconstitutional. You look it up, and you're like, oh, they didn't even do that.
This is my thing. If I can, I'm kind of like you. I read stuff sometimes, and I'm like, oh, boy. It'll make me mad. I'm in agreement with whoever posted it. But if I can, within 3 minutes on Google, debunk that and figure out that's not the truth, come on. You should have too.
Like I said, I was guilty. It took me posting a thing or two on Facebook and then, people posting that it was wrong for me to realize, hey, not everything, and this is away from the Tony Stewart thing. I would post things that that someone would go under and then put a Snopes response and it'd be like, that's actually not true. That was, last time that happened was probably a good while ago. But it's like, that taught me right there, okay, I need to research. I learned the hard way.
Like Justin said, we have morals today. The moral of this story is, people, do not believe everything you read on the internet.
Current events here. All right. Did you know that this is sad. I don't know if you've read this or not. So someone posted that a new feature of the new iPhone was that you could put it in the microwave for no more than a certain amount of time. I wish you guys could see Josh. We need to start video podcasting at some point. I wish you could see Josh leaning on his microphone laughing because he knows where this is going.
God.
Someone posted that you could microfill...
This is already great, and I'm laughing at the idiots and try whatever you're about to say.
That someone told them that you could microwave your iPhone. And then, I mean, I don't know the time limits, but it was like the new feature, what is it called? It had a name. They gave it some name and said you could put it in the microwave for a few seconds, no more than a certain amount of time. It would actually charge your phone.
Oh, my God.
And there are pictures all over the internet of people's cooked phones.
Number one, you have got to be some sort of dumb to believe that. Number two, why would you take a photo of your phone like, look what I did?
I wouldn't admit to it.
Now, is this, I have seen this, and I don't know if it's true because I don't have an iPhone. Does it bend?
I was going to move into that next because we've got a few minutes left, and that was going to be the next thing I was going to talk about. Well, the things I've seen, I have seen pictures of them gradually bent. I mean, I think they're made out of like aluminum. But I don't know. I'm going to have to research, so I'm not going to say that it doesn't. I've seen a lot of reviews from people that have had it, which
I saw one review where the guy was showing how easy he could bend it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I only watched like a few seconds, but it showed like he was like, I'm going to show you how easy you can bend this phone. And it was like, I just saw like screenshots of it, and the phone looked pretty bent to me.
See, that very well could be the case. It could bend easy, and to which it does. I was going to get one here soon, so I'm going to wait until they address the issue or fix the issue or something. But
I thought like it was built into it.
What? The bend feature?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, it's not supposed to bend.
Oh, okay. I thought like it was like some cool, like, hey, you can maybe sit on it and it'll bend and give and won't break.
No, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I think that most people are portraying it as a malfunction.
Oh, okay.
Back to the microwave thing. I saw that post originally, and let me tell you how common sense this should have been. My brain instantly scrambled that into thinking that if that was true, maybe it meant that you could cut on a microwave and that, the radio waves would charge it. Because I certainly didn't think for a second you could put your frickin' phone into a microwave and charge it.
I don't understand. I don't even comprehend how dumb you have to be to do that.
I mean,
let's just say radio waves could charge your iPhone. Do you not understand? Your microwave still has the same features it did the day before you got that iPhone.
Right. It still heats.
It still heats up stuff. It still shocks the crap out of metallic objects, melts plastic, which is a lot of your phone right there.
That's pretty much the
So unless you have a new
list.
microwave that coexists and has some new wave
the
of
iWave.
Yeah.
The iWave.
I don't even understand
Like
that.
I said, I mean, it's like I don't consider myself to be any more intelligent than the average. However,
you got to microwave your iPhone, though.
I thought it was talking about radio waves, to which when I saw it, I didn't believe it. I saw that and I was like, that's bull crap. And I mean, there's tons of pictures of these cooked phones. They had news stations. They've had TV news stories about it telling you, this is sad America, saying, do not put your phone in the microwave. It was a hoax post.
Oh, my God.
My favorite thing that I've seen on Facebook says, if next time you have a cold, put a spoonful of cinnamon up your ass. You can trust me. I'm a picture on the internet. Some of those things are true when you see like the 25 life hacks with stuff you have around the house. A lot of that stuff's true. Like dryer sheets have a lot of functions that,
yes,
that's true. There are a lot of things. But when you see something that severe, which is, like if you see, hey, your phone will charge if you put it in the ocean for 10 minutes, you might want to double check that in the manual or call customer support before attempting that. Because don't you think that would have been a big feature they would be bragging about on TV?
I swear.
Oh, Facebook posts. Facebook posts are going to start world wars. You're going to have wrong Facebook posts, completely false information. That's the biggest problem. Social media is great for the sense that you can spread information, spread stories. Like this guy that
rapidly.
This guy that they think might have kidnapped that young girl from UVA. So I guarantee you, through social media and the constant spread of the picture of his face, that had to have helped him get caught quicker.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great, but at the same time, it's terrible for spreading false information. So I think the moral of today is two morals. One, do what you want to do no matter how old you are. Granted, it does not come at the expense of someone else's safety. Don't hurt anybody else. But do what you want to do. Screw the age limit. Don't ever think I'm too old for that. Just do it. If you want to do it, if you want to longboard, if you want to go to a rock show, if you want to be famous, just do it. There's no age limit. Unless you want to be a teen pop star, then obviously once you get out of your teens, you're a little bit too old to be a teen pop star.
Right.
And two, research. You see something on Facebook, you're already on the internet. Create a new tab, go to Google, and look it up. Make sure it's true before you spread it on to the next.
Like I said, if it takes me 30 seconds to debunk what you just posted, then why didn't you take that 30 seconds to check it?
Right. Just double check. Check your sources. Now you see why they made us cite sources in high school.
Ooh.
Which actually that was to give credit for information that you didn't come up with.
True.
But still, it still was you were checking sources. You know?
Right.
But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed our ranting. We definitely enjoy ranting. I feel so much more relieved after these podcasts compared to the old ones.
Relaxing.
It is. You get a lot off your chest. I forgot Grumpy Diane. I promise you Grumpy Diane will be on the air with us next week. And if you don't know the backstory, we'll explain that, or go back and listen to some of our older podcasts and you'll see what we're talking about with Grumpy Diane. But she will be on next week. I'm going to make it happen.
You better.
And yeah, so funny stuff coming. We appreciate you listening.
I'm going to call you Unreliable Justin.
Let me get your little drum, your little punchline drum here.
Thank you.
Yes, you needed that. All right, well, we will see you next week. I'm Justin.
I'm Josh.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.